Oh, all these annoying ads on my Facebook account. Why would I want anything from the hotel icon, Hong Kong? I've got a house here, and I'm not 50 years old yet, so I don't need a job like that. I'm not 50 yet. That's the most important thing. How insulting for Facebook to think that I'm 50. Okay, what's going on in the arena of selling? Some of the buzz surrounding that flub of that IPO for Facebook was maybe ads on Facebook aren't all they're cracked up to be. Let's get the lowdown on what's really going on in traditional offline and online and multi-channel retailing with Stuart Bailey, the Asia General Manager for Events Manager Diversified Events and a longtime observer of retail trends. Stuart, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. You know, that whole Facebook thing, it just got so much bad press, didn't it? I mean, the bad execution, and then before that, General Motors decided to pull paid ads because they decided they weren't getting the kind of traction that they needed. Tell me, in a sentence or five, is online retailing not what it's all cracked up to be?
No, absolutely the opposite. Online retailing is not a trend, it's not a fad, it's something which is here to stay. We are seeing consumer behaviour changing and changing dramatically as consumers want to buy stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They research online, they buy online, they click and collect it in the store. So there are lots and lots of different, and perhaps there are different social media sites that they're looking at. But online retailing, definitely not. No, that's something which is here to stay and is increasing. Then
how did a name as high profile as Facebook, and in the early days when it looked like it could do no wrong, they had like north of $100 billion market cap valuation, how could all these questions abound about how sticky or how much, resonance that advertising with a name like that does? Because you're saying the polar opposite from what people are talking about out there.
Well, look, if you look at the amount of money which is being spent online, then that's undeniable that, online retailing is on the increase. Now, it may well be that Facebook is not the right medium for it. We're seeing a lot of retailers who are developing their own applications. Right. Smartphone apps so that you can look at a particular retailer, you can check out, what they've got in stock, what their new styles and fashion trends, etc. are. We're seeing perhaps Facebook is not the only place that people want to go. Perhaps people are getting bored with it. There's new sites coming up, sites like Pinterest, a lot of people are talking about, where you can share images primarily. So it may well be that this is not the right vehicle, but it's undeniable that people are buying online. It's interesting that you bring up Pinterest and the visual element. I mean, when people do online interface, with retailers, is it largely a visual medium or is it a content medium? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that people would go and look for reviews, right, on the blogs, or maybe a consumer reports type of more scientific, larger sample size review to find out whether it's product A or product B, service A or B that they should go with. Can you share some of your insights on this front? Yeah, I think buying is a very visual process. People want to see the item. They want to have a look at it, which is why if you look at an item, especially if you're looking at a sort of an IT type item, YouTube is the place where people go. So people go to YouTube and they'll see somebody who's bought this camera, phone, printer, whatever it might be, and they're playing around with it and they're showing you the functionality. And these are just ordinary consumers like you and I who are spending their time showing people, the functionality of, Epsom's new printer or, a brand name of new things. So I think that people, yes, images, people want to see them, they want to look at them, and they want to see sort of what the quality is.
See, this is what I don't understand, is you're kind of mixing up two mediums here, aren't you? Because there is the tactile aspect of shopping, right? I want to run my hands through the fabric and see how it drapes on my body or something like that. Something you can't necessarily get even with the high definition resolution on computers. So you're talking about like physically actually doing something and then collating opinion through an application. So you're kind of doing two of the old thing and the new thing all in one go. Is that an emerging trend?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's a convergence of all these things. I mean, look, bricks and mortar shops are not going anywhere. Right. People are still going to continue going to shops, buying the product, trying it on, feeling the fabric, all the things that you mentioned. But there is consumers want more. So they want to be able to buy it online. They want to be able to look at, their friends doing it. It's all about consumer demand. And at the end of the day, the retailers who give the consumers what they want are the ones that are going to benefit.
What kind of, what are the applications? What are the apps that are going to endure and and really survive. Because we've already talked about in a short few minutes, Facebook, there's Twitter, which we haven't even talked about. You talked about Pinterest, and of course the old-fashioned YouTube. Does it depend on the service? Does it depend on the product? Is it becoming more segmented? The aspect of retailing. Is that a fair question?
It is. It's not one that I know the answer to.
If anybody does.
If anybody does.
Right.
But I think that, yes, unless these sort of applications start reinventing themselves, then users will start to get bored of using them. So I think that is a very real danger for any online social media. I mean, take, for example, I was talking to somebody the other day about, remember Netscape, Netscape Netvigator, the little N with the thing that went round?
It's a blast from the past?
Yeah, exactly. 2002,
Wow.
this was the largest internet browser in the world. Everybody used it. It closed down in 2006.
Yeah,
nobody's ever heard of it since. So, yes, if you don't change and if you don't update and give consumers something better, they will find something else.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was a very loyal Netscape user myself, and then one day it disappeared. I went to IE and said, and you know what? I have to say, I didn't shed a tear. I'll be honest with you. Thanks for sharing some of the trends with us, okay? Very interesting chat. Online, offline, multi-channel, what have you, but you can be sure of one thing. If there's a way to leverage your consumer dollar, they're going to find a way to do it.